Hey agents, it's Manny. The final manhunt for season 3 is out, and now we're hunting down Schaeffer in the Coney Island amusement park. But this isn't your normal manhunt. This time we get an added bonus. Schaeffer's teamed up with a hunter, and I'm gonna say it's probably the hardest hunter I've dealt with as of today. Now, I did do this on heroic, so might be a bit easier on normal, but why make things easy? And once complete, you'll get the Deceit mask. Before we start, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and ding that notification bell so you know when there's new videos. And if you're looking for someone to game with, you can find me and other players in the Militia Discord server. The link is in the description below. All right, for our build, if you've seen my Summit Hunter build, this is very similar with a couple changes. So for our primary weapon, we're actually going to go with the AR, the P416 I have, with obviously as assault rifle damage and health damage, and we have the third attribute as damage out of cover with talent of fast hands. Now for our mods, we're going with 8x scope simply because we're using perfect focus. Then we have the 20 round mag, we have crit hit chance and crit hit chance for the muzzle. Our secondary is our classic M1A with rifle damage, crit hit damage, and damage out of cover, and boomerang. This one we're actually got the 12x, the extra 35% headshot damage, and 5 rounds, and a crit hit chance mod on the laser pointer. Now for our pistol, doesn't matter, we're not using it. I have Liberty, just a little extra packing power punch, but I don't use it. So now for our mask, it's a Walker Harris with 5% weapon damage. We have weapon damage, crit hit chance, and a crit hit chance mod. This is to get me up over to the 60% crit hit chance. And then for our chest, we have a pristine example with weapon damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, reroll, and a crit hit chance mod. Now this is the big thing, perfect focus. We get an extra 6% weapon damage when scoped in with an 8x. Now it takes about 10 seconds for this to come up, but it's 60% extra damage as we're scoped in. Now for our holster, I'm running with the Seska with a 10% crit hit chance. We have weapon damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage. Then for our backpack, Overload Armament, which is not great. This would be better if it was a Providence backpack, so we get an extra some 15% headshot damage. Now this has weapon damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and crit hit damage, and we're running with the Vigilance talent. This is the best backpack I have for these, so that's why I use it. Unfortunately, you only get 20% accuracy, which is good for the rifle, but don't really need it. Now for our gloves, I am going with contractor gloves. These have weapon damage, damage to armor, and 10% headshot damage. Now I had re-rolled this because I was doing a headshot build, headhunter build, so this would actually be better with a 12% crit hit damage re-roll to it. So that's what I would go with if I did it again. I just didn't re-roll when I was there. And then for the knees, we have Fox Prayers. So this is where you get the rifle damage because they're already overlords. Rifle damage is good because we have a rifle. We have weapon damage, damage out of cover, which is great, and then crit hit damage. Now for our skills, we're actually running with the shock trap. This is a great skill to use with the hunters. So they'll EMP you and you'll lose your abilities a lot, but when you can use it, you can throw this one out and it will stay there even after they EMP you again, and it works really well to stun them and shock them and actually keep them from like going around to a certain area. The second attribute we use is something that we don't typically use with hunters, but I'm going with Crusader Shield. Now, this guy EMPs you, but not quite as much as the other hunters, and there is a good place to actually use a shield and stand up, which is what I like. So I'll show you that. And we're going with, of course, we're going with Sharpshooter because we want the flashbangs. The flashbangs give you a 7-meter radius for them going off, as opposed to something like the Riot Foam, which is only 3 meters. It's an extra 4 meters and it makes a huge difference. That's the build. Now let's get into the strat. All right, so once we open up the gate to go into the park area, we're actually going to head right over here to the left side a little bit. We're going to head over to, there's a white building right here. We're going to hop over here and we're going to basically stay here the whole time. The hunter should be there on our right hand side. We can ping him a little bit. Once he gets ready to fire off his fire starter, got to be careful and just stay away from it. He fires 3 of them off. Wait till all 3 of them fired and then ignite them. Just burn them right away, get them out of the way so that they don't bother you. I do want to mention one thing about his fire starter, so let's watch a quick failed attempt I had against him. Now this is one of my first attempts against the hunter. So you'll notice when he fires, I'm kind of hidden behind here and he fires his fire starter at me. Watch, I actually take damage like it's also an oxidizer, which is not usually, because typically fire starter is you don't take any damage until they ignite it. At this point, we still have our skill. So our shield is deployed. We're doing our typical right peek with the shield, and we're just going to keep this white building between us and the hunter at all times. at all times. Do not ever let him get anywhere between you and him. Now my skills are out. I can still right peek a little bit and do damage to him. Now he has, I want you to make sure he has 4 med kits. You have to burn through, unless you can damage him all the way down, you have to go through those 4 med kits. Make him use those 4 med kits, and then we can finish him off. What we're basically waiting for is the skill disrupt to wear off, and that's this icon right here. Once it does, I have a little more confidence once I have my shield back to peek right and not be obliterated with one shot from him. But the big thing is, watch his icons, and you can see when he's going to actually fire off the fire starter and fire off his grenades. And once again, I wait till he fires 3 of them, and then I ignite the fire starter. I don't want that there, so if I walk into it, he ignites it. I want to make sure it's gone. At this point also, you'll see me deploy my shock trap up on the right hand side here, because he's going to run back and forth this way. So hopefully I can get him shocked a couple times, like right there he got shocked, so I can do some damage to him to hopefully get him to use a med kit. So what we're trying to do is make sure he uses all 4 med kits, and then we can actually kill him. It really comes down to not being a terribly difficult fight, just a little nerve-wracking, because you got to basically keep him between you and the white building, and just use angles so he can't hit you with the fire starter, because that's the big thing that he's going to kill you with, is the fire starter, or I should say the, not necessarily fire starter, but it's an oxidizer as well. So you'll see, like, he throws grenades too, but you can just back up. As long as you keep him between you and the white building, you're going to be fine. And like I said, use angles. Once he starts firing off the fire starter, he'll fire all 3 of them kind of in the same area. He doesn't typically like fire one over here, then one over there, and one over here. He'll fire all 3 of them kind of in the general same area. That's what I found out anyway. So if I use this white building here, or white structure, he won't hit you. And don't forget, when it's off cooldown and you're not EMP'd, make sure you get your shock trap up there. It's the best. It's one of the best skills to use with him, because even after EMPs you, it stays up. It doesn't get destroyed, and it shocks him. Now I find he's a little more shock resistant, where he can actually he doesn't stay shocked as long as the other hunters do. With the other hunters, I could typically unload an entire 85 rounds of my MG5 while they're still shocked, reload, and then start shooting them again. This guy, nope. I probably get like 25-30 rounds off, and then he's out of the shock and shooting me back. So it's something to be aware of. Now I can't guarantee the hunter's going to act the same. Your miles may vary on this, but I found he went up and hid in this area a lot. And when he was up in this area where he is sitting up right now in this little area, I'll keep calling it area, he would try to chem launch, but he never would chem launch. He would just kind of sit up there, and he was stuck up there. And there was one thing I was afraid of, and I'll show you a real quick clip of what I was afraid of. So on an early attempt with this build, you can see I have my LMG instead. So I'm all the way over here, and he's on the other side, and if you watch, he just disappears. So I think you need to keep engaging him for a while, otherwise he may get like, oh, someone's gone. It's almost like being out of combat. I don't know what happened, but objective will fail and he'll leave. So be careful, keep engaging the hunter, make sure you're always doing something with him, otherwise he may despawn. Now the hunter is stuck up there. There's 2 good things you can do. One is throw a grenade up there so that you can shock him, he pops up, and then you can do damage to him to force him to use an armor kit. And if you start to run out of flashbang grenades, quickly switch over to regular concussion grenades. So the second thing you can do while he's stuck up there is you can actually get out your 12x scope, and you can actually shoot him in the foot right there, but below the awning and above the platform, you can actually get his foot. So you can do a bunch of damage to him. Just be careful, he will blind fire over it and hit you. All right, so once you made him burn through all 4 armor kits, the rest is easy. Just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually you'll take him out. Just be careful, don't push it, don't try to do anything that you weren't doing already, and boom, you get the kill. I do want to leave you with 2 more cautionary tales, and the first one is, like I mentioned earlier, if you're too far away from the hunter, he will despawn. So one of my first attempts, I was like, I'll just stay out here and DPS him from here. I'll throw my shock trap right at the door here, and I'll grenade him if he comes through here. Nope, he will eventually despawn, so you actually have to go in and engage him. The last one is, if you die while engaging the hunter and you just run back through and do everything, he will not spawn in, and instead you'll get a group of Rikers here. So what you want to do is, if you die, you have to run all the way to the checkpoint or whatever the entrance is and actually reset the mission. Otherwise you end up with just some Rikers and you don't get the hunter. You won't get the hunter mask or any of that cool stuff. So make sure you reset it all if you die, which you may. Hopefully you don't, with all these tips. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button below and leave a comment if you have any questions. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please smash that subscribe button. You can also hit me up when I'm live on Twitch. at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Till next time, agents, happy hunting.